All right, peace and blessings. It's Wednesday, August the 6th, the year 2018. And did I mention that I hate the FBI? I absolutely hate that domestic terrorist organization that is a enemy of the American people. The FBI needs to be eradicated, dismantled. They are an evil organization that destroys lives in this country, and everybody that works for them needs to come under the wrath and judgment of God Almighty. Does that man look like a domestic terrorist to you? Does he look like he needs to spend 27 years in prison? This document has recently came to my attention. It's written by the Congressional Research Service. It's Domestic Terrorism, an Overview, written by this jackass, son of Belial, reprobate from the loins of hell, Jerome P. Bjelopera, whatever kind of name is that. He's a specialist in organized crime and terrorism. I bet he's a specialist. I bet he's one of those special agents with the FBI who doesn't know their end from a hole in the ground. I wonder how much money he got paid to write this piece of garbage and crap, prepared for members and committees of Congress. Anybody know how to get a hold of this jackass who wrote this thing? He goes to write a summary. The emphasis of counterterrorism policy in the United States since Al-Qaeda's attacks of September the 11th, 2001, has been on jihadist terrorism. However, in the last decade, domestic terrorists, people who commit crimes within the homeland and draw inspiration from U.S.-based extremist ideologies and movements, have killed American citizens. Yeah, like Lavoy Finicum, like Sammy Weaver, like Vicky Weaver, like all the people at Waco. How about all the people that die at the hands of Blue ISIS? How about Graham Dyer? This is absolutely a sickening document, what little I've read about it. I can't even, here's the deal. They put Schaeffer Cox in here. If you just search for the name Schaeffer, hold on just one second. S-C-H-A-E-F-F-E-R. Okay, it comes up on page 27 of the document. You can go look down here, but it's actually page 30 of the PDF document. And if you zoom in maybe to 200%, you guys see this? It refers to Schaeffer Cox as being an example of, highlights the militia movement engaged in criminal activity. And it talks about how Schaeffer Cox and his followers wanted to do a 2-4-1 plan. I mean, the 2-4-1 plan was instigated by the FBI informant. You see how this works? It's a feedback loop. The FBI goes out and provokes and threatens Schaeffer Cox. They take him with an unjust BS Department of Justice, who's already been outed as unethical and illegal, what they did to Senator Ted Stevens. They get a false conviction, right? And it all started with their FBI informants threatening Schaeffer Cox's life. And when they get the false conviction, they put out papers to Congress saying, look, we got all these domestic terrorists out there trying to kill government officials, and we need more money to send to the FBI because, we gotta have more money to fight domestic terrorists. Look what Schaeffer Cox did. They need a public accounting of plots and incidents, a publicly available official accounting of domestic terrorist plots. Yeah, that's just what we need. More committees and more money sent to the FBI. The FBI is the biggest terrorist organization in this country. And I pray with everything I have. I fast and I read my Bible and I petition the Lord of the universe to bring down the vengeance of Jesus Christ on the FBI. I hate the FBI. Matter of fact, my website is called IHateTheFBI.com. And if I sound a little passionate, it's because I get angry when I think that what they did to Schaeffer Cox, and he's an innocent man that sat in prison for 7 years and been separated from his children, and he was entrapped His life was threatened. He never received a fair trial. And the jackasses in the Department of Justice, the prosecutors that did this to him, get promoted, get to keep their six-figure jobs, and Yvonne Lamouret gets promoted to an Alaska state judge. There is something terribly wrong with this feedback loop. They get a false conviction, and then they brag about it, and then they warn about it, saying we need more money because we gotta, send more money to the DOJ and the FBI because this is growing. Well, it wasn't even there to begin with. You just created it. You get money to fight terrorism, and so you gotta create terrorists and get false convictions so you can get more money. Shame on you, FBI. I pray for the day when all of you guys lose your jobs and you're out panhandling because you can't make any money doing anything else because you're all a bunch of narcs and you're all a bunch of wannabe 007 James Bonds, but in reality, you are traitors to the American people. And may God Almighty expose you and continue to expose you for the wicked doers that you are. And by the way, this document has been put on the Schaeffer Cox page. I got so much Schaeffer Cox material, I had to give him 2 pages. But if you go to Cox number 1, Schaeffer Cox number 1, and just search for the phrase domestic terrorism, you can download this document and read it yourself. It's over 60 pages. You guys see that? It's called Domestic Terrorism Congressional Research. And your government is paying jackasses like Jerome P. Bjelopera to warn them about domestic terrorists like this. Is this a domestic terrorist? Do you want your government putting Schaeffer Cox in prison 27 years and then sending more money to the DOJ and more money to the FBI so they can do it some more in their stupid feedback loop, their terrorism feedback loop?